The bee-eaters are a rather curious group of birds. Accomplished flyers, they catch their prey on the wing, often performing some fantastic aerobatics to accomplish this. They constantly utter their loud jingling calls, both while flying and when perched. And since these birds invariably move around in large groups, the calls, heard together, almost sound like an orchestra of largely musical and occasionally discordant notes. A colorful bird that is easily identified by the bright blue tail and rump, the blue-tailed bee-eater is not very common in India, but is found extensively across the subcontinent and in parts of Southeast Asia. It breeds throughout North India and patchily through the rest of the subcontinent. The blue-tailed bee-eater has a distinct predilection for the neighborhood of waterbodies, be they local jheels, stream beds, coastal backwaters, or lakesides. A bee-eater sallies out from its perch until it catches an insect on the wing. The quarry is brought back to the perch, where it is battered repeatedly until it can be swallowed easily. Only rarely does it happen that the bird accidentally drops its prey while battering it. Swooping down after the falling bee, it returns successfully to its perch, proceeding to swallow the prey. Chirping in a satisfied fashion after the hunt, the bee-eater will soon launch out again for another aerial sally. Nesting takes place in large colonies along the vertically exposed faces of sandbanks. The season for nesting varies between March and June, the first 2 months being spent in burrowing the nest holes. These curious nest holes are burrowed horizontally into these sandbanks, often as much as 2 meters deep. At the end is a cavity in which the eggs are laid, and subsequently the chicks are fed and brought up. During the nesting period, the parents make frequent forays out of the nest hole to bring back food for the chicks. Having caught a dragonfly, a wasp, or a bee, which are their chief food, they fly back directly to the nest hole, often not even pausing at the entrance, and diving straight into the nest hole to deliver the food to the hungry chicks within. Since nesting takes place in the form of a colony, often 100 pairs of birds will nest together. Since these birds are dependent on nesting within the faces of sandy cliffs, their habitat often comes under threat from the construction and mining industry, which requires large quantities of sand and rock, and together the two industries are destroying large stretches of sandbanks and rocky cliffs, which are the nesting habitat of bee-eaters.